Your personal information is for sale right now, not because you were hacked, but because data brokers collect and sell your details to anyone willing to pay. Sometimes all it takes is a few bucks. It's disgusting. I found my own profile on dozens of sites that I had never even heard of, which is why I spent 6 months testing DeleteMe to find out if these removal services actually work. In this DeleteMe review, we're breaking down what DeleteMe does, how it stacks up against competitors, and whether it's really the best way to take back control of your data. Now, I want to be completely upfront about something. If you decide to try DeleteMe after watching this, I do have a discount code that helps support this channel, but I'm going to give you the honest truth about what worked and what didn't, and whether it's worth your money. Before we dive into DeleteMe specifically, let me explain how this whole industry works, because it's kind of important context for understanding what you're even buying. There are several data broker removal services out there. There's DeleteMe, Optree, and Incogni. Those are the main players, and they all work basically the same way. Each service keeps a running list of data broker sites, prioritized by which ones are most likely to have your information and cause problems. Here's the thing though, none of these services claim that they can get all of your information off the internet. That's really because data brokers have every incentive to keep popping up, rebranding, or just tweaking their business models slightly. It's kind of like playing whack-a-mole, except the moles keep multiplying, you know what I mean? And here's the part that kind of surprised me. Sometimes these sites only have basic stuff like your name and your email, but other times they can have a scary amount of detailed profiles with your social security number, your medical information, family members, stuff that could genuinely put you at risk for identity theft. So DeleteMe has been around the longest, since 2011, and they take a really hands-on approach. When you sign up, you give them basic information like your name, your birthday, and previous addresses. Then their team manually sends opt-out requests to around 60 major data broker sites. So within about a week, you're going to get your first report showing what they found and where they found it. After that, you'll get updated reports every 3 months. Now, DeleteMe advertises that they remove you from 750 plus sites, but here's where it gets a little bit misleading. Only about 60 of those are automatic removals where DeleteMe does all the work. The other 690 or so require you to find and submit the listings yourself through their custom request feature. So when they say 750 plus sites, what they really mean is 60 sites automatically, plus we'll help you with the others if you do all the legwork. Not exactly false advertising, but definitely not the whole picture, so it's really important to know that. After testing all 3 major services, here's what I found. DeleteMe versus Optree. Optree costs noticeably less, and you can see the price comparison on screen, and it actually covers more data brokers automatically. While DeleteMe covers about 60 sites, Optree's basic plan handles over 110. Optree also gives you real-time updates with screenshots providing the work that was done, while DeleteMe sends quarterly PDF reports. DeleteMe versus Incogni. Incogni falls somewhere in the middle in terms of pricing, and it covers the most data brokers, over 250 sites automatically. It's also more automated and generally faster, while DeleteMe takes a more hands-on approach with real people handling each removal. The trade-off is that DeleteMe includes some useful extras like temporary email addresses, phone masking, and live customer support if anything goes wrong. Check the links in the description for the most up-to-date pricing and for any discounts that we've been able to secure. Here's what actually happened when I tested DeleteMe for 6 months. Before signing up, I Googled myself and I found my information on 18 different sites, including the big ones like Whitepages, Spokeo, and MyLife that show up in the first page of search results. There were probably more, but if you can find yourself on 18 different sites, I promise you're going to want to do something about it. After 3 months with DeleteMe, those invasive people search results were gone. When someone Googled my name, they mostly just found my professional profiles and social media instead of all that detailed personal information with my address and phone number. Kind of creepy. Your information might pop back up, which is why it's smart to keep your subscription active. If it does, you can either submit a manual removal request or you can reach out to support. That might sound basic, but in the identity theft protection world, it's really not. Some companies make you wade through layers of bots, bury their phone number, or they don't offer any real help at all. DeleteMe stands out by making it easy. You can actually call them at 833-DELETE-ME and get a human on the line. It's kind of refreshing in this space to have a company that actually is okay with you calling. The quarterly reports were clear and they were easy to understand, even if they weren't as detailed as what Optory provides. DeleteMe scans every 90 days, and it does a ton of manual work behind the scenes, but really no service is going to catch everything the moment it appears, especially with newer or smaller data brokers constantly showing up. After 6 months of testing, here's my honest take. DeleteMe works, but it's not the best value anymore. If you want the most thorough coverage for the least amount of money, go with Optory. If you want something kind of in the middle that's highly automated and covers international sites, try Incogni. And if you specifically value human customer service and you don't mind paying a little more for a manual approach, DeleteMe is solid. For most people, I would actually recommend starting with Optory's $39 plan and seeing how it goes. You can always upgrade or you can switch later. Right now, your information is out there being bought and sold, and any of these services will dramatically reduce that exposure. And even the most expensive option costs less than dealing with one identity theft incident. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, the discount codes for all 3 services are in the description below. See you next time.